Good evening, everyone. My name is James Tan. I recently completed my master's in urban spatial science from the Center for Advanced Spatial Analysis, UCL. I regret that I am unable to attend this event in person to meet all of you and deliver this presentation. Hence, please bear with this recording instead. I'll be presenting my master's dissertation on Sky's the Limit or 120 meters, urban drone delivery with agent-based modeling. Drones have been used in inspections, agriculture, and other remote sensing applications. In terms of urban drone delivery, despite its advantages of alleviating congestion, it's more environmentally friendly compared to delivery trucks and greater cost effectiveness in the long run. It has not quite taken off yet. There are still many issues or obstacles to urban drone delivery, such as regulations, dense urban environment, societal acceptance, economic feasibility, and technology. Hence, my research question is how does the transition from one to multiple delivery drone companies impact the potential for aerial collisions in urban environments? How does this vary with the maximum number of allowable drones? The aim of this research was to create a model that can serve as a framework for the proliferation and regulation of drone operations in cities. The literature review was split into two sections. The first part was on papers related to drone deliveries. Many of them focus on optimizing drone delivery given certain constraints such as energy levels. For practical reasons, papers can only focus on a few aspects. Green means the paper covered this aspect, while red means it did not. These aspects included if the trucks performed delivery, the speed of the drones, energy levels, payload weight, collision avoidance mechanism, and no-fly zones were taken into consideration. The second part was on collision avoidance. Methods include aircraft traffic management systems, although the lag time to communicate it to other drones could cause accidents. Another method is artificial potential fuels, which works like magnets, such as repulsion from obstacles and other drones, and attraction to a goal or target, such as the delivery point. Overall, some of the key takeaways of the literature review are that there are numerous variables to consider in drone delivery and it's difficult to implement them all. Most papers also were on optimal drone delivery algorithms, which is applicable to companies but may be less so for regulators. There are also different collision avoidance mechanisms with trade-offs in complexity, computational intensity, energy, etc. The overall methodology is creating an agent-based model to examine how drones interact with each other in the urban environment and record potential collisions. The first step is generating the study area using an add-on in Blender. By giving the coordinates of the bounding box, it generates a 3D model which can then be exported to Unity as an FBX file. The chosen study area is a subset of Camden and Islington as a proof of concept. The second step is creating the agent-based model in Unity. First, we set the variables for the simulation, such as the maximum number of drones, number of trucks, which determines the number of clusters, and how the trucks are placed. To elaborate further, the delivery points determined by the maximum number of drones are spawned in the study area near buildings. In the single company scenario, as seen in the left image, k-means is used to group the delivery points into clusters, and trucks are placed in the centroid if the layer is a road. Here we can see 13 delivery points split into 3 clusters that barely overlap. In the multiple company scenario, in the right image, delivery points are randomly and approximately equally allocated to various clusters, with each cluster belonging to a different company. Trucks are then placed in the centroid if the layer is a road. From the right image, the clusters end up having a fair bit of overlap. The trucks then launch the drones in regular intervals. Drones then ascend from the trucks to the flight height, moving horizontally to the delivery point before descending. It repeats the same path back to the truck while avoiding other drones and buildings using artificial potential fuels, which serves like a repulsion force. While this is ongoing, the drones will record various measures which will be used in the data analysis part and elaborated on in the next slide. The simulation ends when all deliveries are completed or upon timeout of 10 minutes in the event of bottlenecks. There were 50 different permutations of variables, and each scenario was repeated 75 times to account for outliers. As there is no universally acceptable metric on potential collisions in the airspace, I decided to explore 4 different metrics. These include the average unique drone encounters, which is a metric representing the potential number of intersecting paths with other drones. The average avoidance maneuver represents the number of evasive maneuvers drones need to take to complete their delivery safely. This metric not only indicates potential collision, but also implies that drones must process more data and change their course, which affects their energy levels and potential to complete their mission. The percentage time in horizontal proximity reflects the duration which drones are in close horizontal proximity to other drones, indicating potential collisions in horizontal pathfinding. The percentage time in vertical proximity reflects the duration during which drones are in close vertical proximity to other drones, highlighting potential collisions while entering and leaving the airspace. Regression and heat maps were then plotted to analyze the results. Although we have 4 different metrics, I will be sharing the results of just one, as the pattern is quite similar across. The first pattern is that as the number of drones in the simulation increases, this naturally facilitates more encounters with other drones, as seen by the positive coefficients in the table. On the other hand, adding trucks reduces drone encounters as they disperse drone deployment, as seen from the negative coefficients in the table. However, these regression values should not be interpreted that the optimal ratio of drones and trucks is 1:1, as an optimal fleet size needs to be determined for a more efficient and cost-effective system. The second pattern is a certain configuration of drones and trucks for the multiple company scenarios leads to the worst outcome as seen by the heat map at 300 drones and 25 trucks, which means that increasing the truck count is not always the solution either. The third pattern is the worst case of the single company scenario, as seen in the bottom left of the left heat map, is still better than the best case of the multiple company scenario, as represented on the top right of the right heat map, for the given range of scenarios. Furthermore, the sublinear relationship for the single company scenario compared to the linear relationship in the multiple company scenario in the regression graph highlight a more severe increase in potential collisions if the airspace is allowed to grow unregulated in the latter. In terms of recommendations or policy implications, we can consider strategies on the number and placement of physical depots or mobile trucks. Having the optimal configuration could reduce the possibility of collisions. Another consideration is that the airspace is currently unstructured or free flight. We could structure the airspace such that it has multiple layers and air corridors for more organized drone movements. In Shenzhen, China, drones follow air corridors from malls to kiosks where users can then pick up their food. The relevance to the retail sector is in bringing in retail delivery data to model drone deployment sites and flight corridors that provide good coverage. Before I end off, I should reiterate that this research is not a magic bullet. Urban drone delivery is a complex issue. After all, regulation determines whether drone delivery is permitted, technology assesses its feasibility, economics evaluates its business viability, and society judges if it is acceptable. With that, thank you for your kind attention. I would also like to thank SLA for providing me this opportunity to present my dissertation. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm open to any further questions or possible collaborations or opportunities. I also have my GitHub link, which contains the walkthrough and code for the model. With that, have a great day.